start just by a quick introduction. I've been doing Web3 events for about a year, maybe a little over a year now. I started off by just kicking off and doing something massive during NFT NYC. I was really excited to just jump in without knowing exactly what that looked like. And it was a lot of work. It turned out to be amazing. And yeah, it was a challenge. Hosting a Web3 event not only has challenges as far as like trying to implement DeFi strategies or NFT collections, or even just like getting that small group of people to be interested to come out to your event. But it is actually really rewarding as well, especially for those of you in a community that can bring out those people that maybe you've gotten to know online or through the Discord or something like that. So it's a really fun time, a lot of work, but it's definitely worthwhile. So I will, before I go to the first slide, similar to what Kujira has for their ambassador program, I was running New York City's pretty much ambassador program for Polygon. So I started off last year doing small meetups pretty much once a month. And my strategy was to, number one, just get the community out and socializing with each other. So Polygon really didn't have a presence in New York City as far as like organizing events on, like a regular schedule. So I started off with just hosting events very cheaply at bars. So that's the number one thing you can always do. Bars are free. You can have people either pay their own way or very cheaply just have a small budget. And it just gets people out. It's a very informal event if you wanted to do something. So I started off doing that. And eventually our community got more comfortable with coming out and being active and, painting New York City purple is what we called it. So after a while, we started getting between 70 and 100 people coming out on Tuesday nights at bars, which became a little burdensome for the bars. So we then moved and had a bigger budget to now to then move into like a more permanent space to do events. And that's kind of where I got connected. I'm still doing events down in the financial district in Manhattan. I do developer events for pretty much for anybody. I work a lot with the Ethereum community, of course, Cosmos. Yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. I do events for companies on contract, as well as these developer events and everything in between, if it's hosting a brunch or whatever it is. I'm going to go to the first slide. So after that one, so I have three main takeaways for hosting a successful event. Number one, know your audience, understand your impact, and then understand the purpose of your event or where things are aligned. So for audience, I know you guys can read this. I'm just going to do a quick summary of these. So the event is not for you. As much as you'd like to pat yourself on the back, like the event is for the people attending. So everything that you're doing is trying to create a meaningful experience for the people attending your event. And the number one thing that I would push for all of you as you do your own events for the community is make sure that your community walks away with something that they have either learned or engaged with that encourages them to come back again. So you only have a first impression once. And after that, people are going to either walk away from that and say, wow, that was really worth my time to either get on a bus and travel. That's my frog chirping. Or they spent money to get there, a cab or whatever it was, like make it worth their while. And that kind of rolls into the impact. So the role as an event coordinator is to curate an environment that fosters connections and provides value for your attendees. This is kind of summarizing what I said before about knowing your audience. So making sure that the people are able to have a good place to network and it's not too loud. Like these are things that you need to consider, or a place that has ample lighting so people can see each other's face. Like those are all things that like can often be overlooked when you're picking a venue or trying to find a place. as well as the alignment. So understanding the purpose of your event and what the expectation is for. Sorry about that. My daughter's telling me my frog's chirping. So yeah, understanding the purpose of your event and how it aligns. So for the Kujira community, if your goal is to bring out people to come and just gather, it's going to be a happy hour or a meetup or something like that. Knowing what you're supposed to be doing and understanding that is a really big part of event planning. Sorry, I got a little bit. As well as clear objectives. So that's another thing. A lot of times when you host an event, or for me specifically, you can get caught up with a bunch of things, whether it's food or making sure everything gets delivered on time and stuff like that. But making sure that you have those clear things in your head. Like I want people to walk away having joined my Discord, or I would like people to come in and join our Telegram chat or mint this NFT when they arrive. So making sure that these things are on the top of your list, because as I was mentioning before, sometimes things don't go as planned. Your merchandise doesn't arrive, or maybe the caterer is late. So just keeping those things in the forefront of your mind is probably one of the better things for hosting a successful event. Next slide, please. I kind of already talked about this, about objectives and your clear objectives. But clarify the purpose of your event. Is it to feature a great speaker, a panel? Is it to showcase a product or potentially artwork? These are all things that you can consider when choosing either a venue or a space or what kind of environment that you want to create. A lot of times places have AV equipment. A lot of times they don't. So you're gonna have to look into like rentals and those sorts of things. As well as understanding the goals to help ensure that your event aligns with the objectives and delivers a successful experience for your audience. I also like to say that events are often a representation of the person doing the event. So also tailor it to who you are. For me, I tend to do very fun, puns I like to use in my events. I always go with, always showcase alcoholic earrings, for instance. It's just something fun that I do when I do an event, something that's memorable. Another thing that I tend to do is little shot glasses with company logos. So then we can use hashtags. I know that's kind of old school boomer nowadays, I guess, but we do give Polygon a shot or give Kujira a shot. And it's just something fun for someone who's coming to your event to recognize that little personal touch. I'm gonna go to the next slide. Dealing with the priorities. So before your event, determine the most important metrics for your success, allowing you to focus your efforts effectively. This will help you track your KPIs, your key performance indicators for your event objectives. So if it's as I mentioned before, if it's signups, if you need, or you want to grow the community, you want people to join your Telegram, join your Discord, make sure that there are either QR codes around or that you are there at the beginning to get people to sign up right away. Or maybe even that's something that you can add right into the Luma or Eventbrite page, something that they can already do ahead of time. And then also nail that down when you get there. If it's an NFT mint or a POAP, those are other great ways to have community activation, as well as maybe even someone in your community to showcase artwork or to get more people involved. I always like to do events where I'm not just the sole person, or maybe not even just inviting the speakers, but I really like to involve the whole community. If it comes to something as simple as a stamp, having everything be meaningful. So if it's an NFT mint, or even community growth, if you need and want people to just come out and join. I already mentioned the Telegram chats, but the idea is to grow your community in a way that people can and want to come back time and time again. And I made a little note here at the bottom. Curated and gated events often lead to the best outcomes. This is just my recommendation. So I've been tasked multiple times by companies to do like kind of a curated brunch where people, you know, are chosen to come in and we have to vet them. I'm sure you guys have had to sign up for Luma pages where you have to answer questions. That's another great way to like get the right people that you want to come to your event or to answer the questions. So you're not just having bots or people who just want to come in for a free drink or pizza. But I've had a lot of success with that. It really makes the difference when it's coming to a smaller event, I've found. I don't know, it seems to be that those people are then more closely aligned, and maybe the right people together are what's going to make a magic partnership happen. Moving on to the next slide. Hold on a second, I'm so sorry. You cannot plan for your children. So sorry about that.
We're good.
Another part that I think is really important with doing events is relationship building. So number one, you want your event to be memorable. You want something, like I mentioned before, that people are doing the marketing for you, that people are excited to come to. Twitter blows up a lot and other social medias when people are excited. They're retweeting your things, or they're coming back again, or excited to like meet up with their friend. So this is something that I think is so fun about hosting events, is being able to have it be memorable. And by that, I'm also like talking about your brand, but also your name too. So here I have under here, it says feature your name on the event flyers, marketing materials, as well as event registration platforms like Event or Luma. So I know a lot of people on crypto Twitter tend to have their PFPs not be their face, and that's totally fine. However, when you go to an event, a lot of times you're going to have to show your face, and people might not know exactly who you are. So I found that it's very helpful, and they're just small little things to remember, to have your name on all the information leading up to it. So when someone gets that email registration that says, you know, tomorrow, 24 hours is the Kujira Chicago meetup, for instance, they know that it's coming from X person. That's going to be who they have to remind them about that event. Your name is going to be on there. So don't be afraid to put your name. If you can always add different little notes within the Luma page or the Eventbrite page, so that people are getting familiar with who their organizer is, as well as the personal touch. So I found that when you host an event, or when I host an event, I found it very helpful to greet the guests on their way in. If it's a small area, it tends to be a little easier, but it's nice to be able to welcome somebody, introduce yourself, kind of give them the rundown of where things are in the place, as well as, I don't know, it makes it a little bit more friendly to be able to get greeted on the way in, as well as a call to action. Now, a lot of times when you're greeting people maybe come in a couple or 2 or 3 at a time, or you get caught up networking with a friend and you might miss somebody. So that's why I always say, like, once you have your people in the group or in the area, I like to go up and make a formal introduction, introducing myself again, introducing maybe the agenda for the night, where people, like, you know, can find the bathrooms. That's always a major thing that we forget about, to tell people where the bathrooms are, or to let them know where the food or what things are happening. So I know it sounds a little cliche to like say things over and over again, but making yourself present at these events is very important. Name on things, greeting people, and that call to action for people to come and participate. I'm going to go to the next slide. This is probably a really, this is one of the, a really awesome thing about hosting events. free marketing. So if you do it well, and if you can tap into these different veins, the people that are attending your events, or even maybe someone that's not attending, someone who's a part of the community that can't make it, is going to do all the marketing for you. So starting at the top, retention, fostering repeat attendance by delivering valuable content. So if somebody comes to your event and someone is enjoying their time, they're going to talk to their friends about it. You're going to get repeats of people coming back again, joining the community, joining the Discord, chatting with each other. And that's something that they're doing the marketing for you for that event to a small degree, but over time, more and more people talking, you're going to see the invites for repeat events bump up a lot more. Also, encouraging your attendees to share their photos, experiences, hashtags if you want, tagging people or your network. All these things are going to encourage people to post and hopefully build that hype around an event, as well as some activities. So if you are interested in doing events where you're having a little bit more of a free flow, having things where people can interact, whether it's through an app or whether it's through, like I mentioned before, downloading an NFT, or not downloading, minting an NFT, anything that you're creating this buzz around an event where people can, I know you're laughing at me, not download, don't right click and save. As well as marketing tools. So amplifying your reach through engagement, whether it's digital marketing, if you, I know a lot of times even a simple retweet from a main account is often helpful. These are all ways where you can try to amplify your reach, as well as utilize community-driven tools for ticketing. These are some of my ideas that I've used before. The community is often really eager to get involved in events like this, either to showcase something new or to show what they've been working on or something like that. So I always try to like tap into the community, see if there's a way that like I can get, not get things for free, but more like create a space for people to start being involved in something. And it's often really awesome because it can be a total trial. You can announce it as that we're going to be like doing something just different this time. See how it works. We're giving X person a little bit of a spotlight. Those are always like a great way to like win the community over, but also like show that this is a community-driven effort. As well as venue. I know it says at the bottom, but it kind of should be at the top too. I always love hosting an event in a really unique place. Sometimes if it's like a theater or a really unique space, it can often be like, I don't know, just provide that different level of, rather than just being at a bar, it gives people more something else to talk about. Something that they can say, wow, this was really cool. This was in a neat place. I've never been here before. Or the food was really good. I never knew we could do X, Y, Z. So just making those small choices can sometimes make a really big difference in your event. I'm going to go to the last slide, the benefits of hosting an event. So a couple key benefits of being the person or the face in front of an event. Number one, connect with other industry professionals. It really provides a great opportunity to network, to grow your name, your community's name, but also like meet new people. I know that's kind of the reason I got into doing the Polygon New York City events. I was attending the events anyway. And I said, well, this would allow me to just network a little bit more, connect and have my name elevated slightly rather than just an attendee, but like people are getting to know me, they're getting to network, or I'm getting to network with them. And it just really creates a great way to like foster new partnerships and opportunities as well. Also, it gives a great opportunity to gain some insights into new trends within the industry, developments, and just being able to stay on top of things. Our world is the world of Web3 is very fast and often feels like a whirlwind. So it is great to be able to just meet new projects that you might not be able to meet before or catch up on new trends. As well as organizing events often offers opportunities for personal development. So growing your own skills, whether it's, I really I'm nervous talking in front of somebody, this gives you a great opportunity to practice that. Or if it's, I really need to work on my pitch for people and how I present X event. So it's a great way to just grow that, gain some level of trust with yourself and your community. And then also just nurturing relationships. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've found is when you do an event, there's a level of trust of showing up time and time again. And it's in our industry, especially when things are so internet driven, we're not face to face, we're dealing with people that are across the pond or whatever it is, you don't get a chance to sometimes keep those connections or get a chance to be face to face with a lot of people. So for me, it provides a level of trust, especially in the community where you're showing up. People can understand that wow, Amanda or X person is really invested in their community. They're here, they're doing things time and time again. So that's another perk that I've found has often benefited me moving forward, because you never know if X project that attends your event raises some money and wants you to host something for them. So it's always good to at least for me, I can only speak to my experience, but it's very meaningful to be able to show up time and time again and develop those layers of trust. And I think that was it for my last slide, but I know I was speaking really quickly. I didn't want to overgo my time, but I really appreciate being able to talk. And if you have any questions or if there's anything that you'd like a little bit more clarity on, happy to share.
Well, firstly, thank you very much for that. Can we get a couple of hands, please?
Thank you. I apologize for the little telling my daughter, go back.
No, that's absolutely fine. But no, seriously, it's sorry, I'll give you JJ, I'll give you a sec. I just wanted to sort of make a couple small points. It's pretty incredible to hear your journey from small bars to what you're doing now. And, some of the things which I noted down, first being the audience is key. What constitutes a meaningful experience and sort of tailoring those specific activities to the audience, having tangible outcomes as well. So setting clear, defined objectives, KPIs to track progress, and then also, what is the value for participants and what is the value for us, and as well about building and nurturing those relationships, right? Because if you approach it from sort of a first of many interactions perspective, you're looking at the long term rather than the short. So no, honestly, some really key points made in there that I hope you guys have considered. I mean, we will be sending this presentation to all you guys, and there'll be an online recording available. But yeah, I hope you've taken a lot of this in. Sorry, JJ, do you want to ask a question?
No, I just wanted to wave, and I clicked the hand button. It's okay. Thank you for the presentation.
No problem. I mean, I've got a couple of questions actually. Obviously these guys are now in the advanced stages of developing their proposals and finalizing them. What is most important in that stage, and sort of how did you prepare for the ETH Denver event? Well, the 3 you've done, or events that you have upcoming. What when you're reaching the end of it, what is important to consider?
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are kind of towards your end, but number one, what is your budget? That's really huge. Knowing what you're going to work with, but also understanding there's always going to be extra things that you're going to have to tack on. Usually a venue I like to secure next to make sure, especially for a big conference, like for ETH Denver, I tried to secure a venue. I like to usually book it 6 weeks in advance, especially for a big conference. A lot of people are coming into the place. So that's another thing to consider as well. So budget, of course, venue. And then from there, I usually deal with sponsors if I have any. And then also securing speakers. Those are my next things that I'd like to usually tackle about 3 to 4 weeks prior. you never know how long it's going to take someone to get back to you. Oftentimes you have to hound. That's another thing that like no one likes to do, but it is definitely a part of the role. But yeah, those are the top three things that initially, and then like as you're getting closer, like understanding what, like we mentioned, like I mentioned in the slides, like are you planning on giving anything away? Like if so, those things need to be delivered. Or are you planning on having something delivered? Like does the venue have chairs? And if not, that it might be something that you need to like look for. So those are all little details. I have a big checklist that I usually go through when I'm looking at a place and seeing all the amenities and what is offered. Those are for larger events, but it's just something to consider. Also, things never go as planned, as I was telling you earlier. There's always something, like for my experience for ETH Denver, I was doing a bunch of Polygon developer events, and our merchandise was 2 days late. And thankfully, I had planned a 2-day buffer, so we were able to still get it on time. But those are the types of things that like you sometimes can't plan for, and you're going to have to roll with it and just do your best and act like there wasn't a problem.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. John, I will let you ask your question. But there are two things you mentioned there, which I want to sort of hammer home as well. You know, you mentioned the events and the venues. Obviously, these are the foundations of your event, right?
Yeah.
So in regards to venues, when you're looking for them and reaching out, are there any specific ways you found that have worked best? And then with the speakers as well, you know, what can you say to them, or what has worked to be able to provide them with like a meaningful value proposition so they're more likely to come on board?
Yeah. I'll start with the first one, the venue. I like to find something that's like very unique. I like things that are double stories. That's also like really fun, especially when you're considering you might have people networking as well as doing like a professional panel or speaker. I don't like to have those on the same floor or even in the same room. Oftentimes, like people want to network and get their drink and start talking, and that gets pretty loud and distracting for the people. Hey, Scooch, go. You're making noise.
Almost done.
Speaking of distracting.
We're almost done. We're almost done. Give us a few minutes.
Hey, just it's okay.
Almost done?
Yes, almost done. So those are like I like to find venues that have like that space, whether it's space for networking, space for panel presentation. That's important for me. And also, like, I'm a girl and I like posting shit on Instagram, so I also try to find like really beautiful places, whether it's got live plants or a lot of like natural light. Like that always seems to make a difference. You don't want to have your event in like, I mean, a dungeon sort of, or a lounge is okay, but like for me personally, I just like that like airy atmosphere and something that's like Instagram worthy, that looks great when you post about it. So that's another thing. And then also for getting speakers, this kind of is tricky. A lot of it comes down to like just leveraging your network and like building that trust. Like it's not something that you're going to be able to like invite the CEO of X company or whatever right away. So a lot of times, like my first few events, we kind of, you know, you fake it till you make it in a way. But then like as you get more contacts and more experience under your belt, your name has a little bit more weight to it when you email somebody or message them on Telegram. I like to have a lot of my events live streamed or at least recorded that we can, you know, play back for them. I try to provide some marketing to make it worth their while, whether it's on different, you know, social media platforms, Twitter. Twitter Spaces are great too, just to hop on quickly, invite guests to come on, share with their community ways that, you know, hey, we're going to be here on this date. If you're around, you know, come and check it out. And a lot of times people like to hear themselves talk. So if it's a way for them to just like be on a panel with their friends, like they're more than happy to do so. Yeah, that's kind of my experience. most of my events that I do on the day-to-day are in New York City. So thankfully I have a lot of people at my disposal, just being within the city. So that has definitely helped me. So, I mean, granted, if you're in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, maybe it's going to be harder for you to find somebody. It could be better. Like you could do, I mean, there's other options like metaverse events or, you know, having someone Zoom in. So those are also great options.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I am conscious of the time because I feel like your daughter's going to tell me off otherwise. But we will, John, do you have one final question to ask? We'll wrap up with that.
Yeah, great presentation, Amanda. I really enjoyed every bit of it. So I'm similarly doing something like this in Africa, and there is this challenge we're going through, and that's getting Web3 people along. Okay, so I would like you to elaborate on how you were able to fish this Web3 dudes to come around and or something like that, because most of us just get into the crypto space and we see them on Discord, Twitter. We don't really know where they are, and just, you know, something like that. So how do you get to pull great numbers for events? How do you get to mobilize people to join in events you're hosting, and your target audience? Because there are events for noobs, there are events for crypto OGs, and, you know, developers. So how do you get to mobilize people around? I would really like to get something from you and add to what I heard. Thanks.
Yeah. So when I started doing the events in New York City, I had already been and started like a Telegram chat. We had a Discord channel as well. So people were kind of siloed into like where they lived. So that's another great tool, you know, for the Academy, if you have like a North America's group or ways for people to like find where they belong. That's a great tool. But then also I really like doing events that are really curated. Like if you're trying to target developers, not that you want to kick people out, but you need to make it worthwhile for those people that are attending. So a developer coming out, maybe, you know, he's going to want to hear like a very technical talk, or a new product launch, or maybe the new EVM code review or something like that. They're interested in this topic. So if you can find ways to create your content that's very, very tailored to who you're looking for, I found that that's the best for trying to get the most, or for the people attending to get the most out of your event. Otherwise, you get the drifters and the people who just want to come in and because there's free beer or free food, and that's okay. But like, we all know that that's not the people that you want to be there. Ultimately, those are people that, you know, are kind of taking advantage of it. So that's why, like, I try to either do like token gated, or in some way, like they have to show that they signed up for the event, that sort of thing. That's a great way to like make sure you're targeting the people that you want to be there.
Yeah, I'm good. Really, you elucidated that, and I'm good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Well, yes, we will wrap it up there. Again, thank you so much, Amanda. It's been an incredible recording, incredible lecture. I hope all of you guys have taken something from it. As I said, I'm going to be sending the lecture to each one of you guys, as well as some key points and sort of keynotes that I've made from the lecture itself. But yeah, we'll let you go now. We'll let you go, and thank you very much, all of you guys.
Thank you so much.
As well.
I appreciate it.
All the best. All right, cheers, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.